Hey, thank you for watching. If we haven't met yet, I'm Melissa Curtis. I wanted to talk a little bit about how I plan to go into this new year. As I'm recording this, it is the very end of December, just a few days away is New Year's Eve. And if I'm being honest, this is the first time in several years that I have like the mental clarity, that I have the excitement, the bandwidth to actually reflect on the year that we've just had and make plans, dream about the year ahead. We've just been through the ringer the past couple of years, and I have found at the end of the year, I have found that I just am over it. I have no bandwidth to process, I have no bandwidth to pray, and I certainly have no bandwidth to dream. So if that is you by chance, I just want to give you encouragement that January 1st is just a day. I know in our society, in our culture, it's like this big new shiny day, and that's great. If it brings motivation to you, that's great. If it encourages you to reflect and to be more intentional. But if that's not you on January 1st, you can pick any day to make brand new. And my hope is that the things that I'm going to talk about in this video, you can do at any point in the year, whenever you are needing to process, to pray through things, and to start dreaming for the things that you hope and that you believe are to come. So that's just a little disclaimer. So I don't have a set process that I go through at like every end of the year, beginning of the new year. I think I'm still defining it, and it also just changes so much. And I think based on what the year has been and based on what you've gone through, I think that is gonna affect how you process it, and what you process, and what you journal or talk through, however you do it. And so for me, one of the things that I don't want to focus on, and that is just not motivating at all to me, is goal setting, is creating really hard set goals. We've just been through a lot of disappointment, and we've had a lot of plans fall through. We've had God close doors. We've had different seasons closed down, that I don't know. I just am not right now at the place for setting these like hard and fast goals that we're going to work towards, like the SMART goals, so like measurable. Like I don't have a money goal. I don't have a weight goal. I don't have any of that right now. I'm not saying that I want this in the days or the months to come. But right now, that's just not where I'm at. And so how I plan on utilizing like this window to reflect and to process and to plan and dream is, first, I want to count the fruit of the past year or the past season. I didn't coin that term. I heard it somewhere else. But what it means is to look at the blessings, look at the faithfulness and the goodness of God in your life in the past year and in the past season, and record it, write it down. What is the new fruit that has blossomed in your life? What is the fruit that has grown or that was pruned? Like what is the fruit from this past season? And I would say hang out there for quite a while. I know for myself and for my husband, we tend to immediately, we will immediately go to what didn't work, where we messed up, where our mistakes were, where we failed, where we didn't meet our goals. We will constantly harbor on the negative, on the things that just didn't happen the way that we expected, or didn't happen at all. And we don't focus on the fruit in our lives enough. And instead of just marching ahead, like slamming the door to 2023 and just marching ahead into 2024, I really want to spend some time and record where I have seen the goodness and the faithfulness of God, where I have seen Him fulfill promises to us and to our family, even if it doesn't look like the way that we thought it would. So number one is count the fruit. The second thing I'm going to do that I have not done in past years, but it has come back to haunt me, is I want to list out the places where I am disappointed, where I might feel resentment or bitterness, guilt, all of those things, all of those unprocessed things from the past year, from the past season, and pray through them and surrender them to God. And I will be the first to say that if this isn't done, if you don't take the time to actually unpack the places where you're still disappointed, where you're still grieving, it will come back. And in its due time also, like maybe it's just not the time to unpack everything. But that's the next thing that I'm going to do, is just process places that I still feel disappointed or let down or angry, whatever it may be, and truly surrender it to God. And actually those two things are how I'm going to reflect on 2023. That's it, is just to process the fruit that I've seen in the past year and where I still feel some disappointment, and I need to surrender those emotions and those situations to God. But moving forward, how I'm looking forward and praying forward into 2024 is I want to pray and think about, is there anything that God is asking me to set down? Like to stop doing things, to let go of? And what are the things that he's asking me to pick up? It can look wildly different for each person. Maybe it is a letting go of, worry or gossip. Maybe it is letting go of certain relationships that aren't fruitful or life-giving anymore. And maybe it's picking up a skill, but maybe it's also picking up your faith, your hope. Maybe it's picking up your Bible more. That's my next step, is to pray through, what is Holy Spirit really convicting me to let go of, and what are those things that I'm being encouraged to pick up or to increase. And then after that, I'm going to review my life priorities. And I won't go all into what exactly that means. I've done at least one other video on life priorities, but it's really just those things that I've identified as being ultimately, eternally the most important thing. Like, the world could literally be on fire, and these are the most important things still to me. Everything could be going amazing in my life, and these are still the most eternally important things to me. I will tag the video here or down in the comments if you want to learn more about it, but I'm just going to review those life priorities so they're fresh in my mind, in my spirit, and they're top of mind as I'm kind of planning and praying into 2024. Okay, and then from that point, I'm going to pick up this. I just did a video. It's the previous video that you'll see on our family year. It's a seasonal journal, workbook, planner that I put together for our family. And this was inspired by my gross, icky feeling of goal setting this year. I just didn't want to set these ambiguous goals for the next 12 months. And I really want to be more intentional and more present and more grateful for where we are now, and make sure that we are stewarding where we are now with the things that we've been given, and that we're making memories, and we're not constantly trying to look ahead at what we hope is going to come, and then we just miss out, and like the days fly by without really living it the best that we can with our family. So I'm going to dive into the winter section of this workbook. Winter, as you know, starts in December, and this is a New Year video, so we're in the middle of winter, which is totally fine. You can literally pick this up whenever you get it in your hands. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna focus on the next 2 months, process them with my husband, invite my kids into the process, to set intentions, to set goals, really to set rhythms. And then I'll come back to it when winter ends and spring is starting. And so that's, I mean, if I have a goal for this year, that's my goal, is to focus on seasonal living and to not get so ahead of myself and probably God, and constantly looking 6, 9, 12 months ahead and just staying present. If you want your own family year, you can purchase it on Amazon, and then you can also get the digital PDF version on my website, which I'll link below, that you can download instantly, print out multiple times. So there's that if you want it. And so that is how I plan to reflect and process 2023 and plan and dream for 2024. I'm really genuinely grateful that I'm at a place in my spirit, I'm at a place mentally where I can step into this new year, but just also this season with some clarity, with peace, with hope, and it just looks different this year for me. I don't have these hard goals and ambitions. I just think the past few years have made me a little bit softer towards that hustle and grind and go after the mentality. If I'm being really honest, I want to do this with my family. I want to be intentional with how we live our lives. And ultimately, I just want to do a little bit better than last year. I just want to do a little bit better. Sure, we have business goals. Sure, we have financial goals, but I am not holding my value. I'm not holding the value that this year holds. And if those goals happen, I'm just not. I'm holding my value in the value that this year, it will have been a good year. It will be a good season when I can reflect back on this and look at the memories that we've made and look at the growth that's been made in my marriage and look at the strength that have come up in my children, or the way that our relationship has grown and has become tighter. That is a good year for me. So I hope this was helpful to you, maybe a little bit just thought-provoking, maybe getting you to think about what you need to process, what you want to pray through and dream about with God. If you found this video helpful, be sure to check out the free guide that I have. It's listed down below. You can go to melissacurtis.co/join, and you can download what I'm calling the Reflect and Dream Guide. It's a 2-page guide that honestly just walks you through the process that I'm going through. So hopefully that is helpful for you. I would love to know how you love to ring in the new year. What are those questions or exercises or journalings that you usually do to reflect on the past year, to dream and plan for the year to come? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you like this type of content, I am going to be diving more into how I'm using this with my family. I plan to do a seasonal update video of just every season, where we're at, what we're doing, how we're staying focused on this. And I dive into a lot of homeschool on this channel, and just intentional living. So I would be honored if you subscribed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.